It looks like a lot of you are struggling with the keys. So I talk about it a little bit in the animal walkthrough, but let's go through this again. Just now that you've looked at it, it may be helpful. So what you're filling out for the skull identification, you're filling out a sheet like this, and this is called Bio 113 Animal Diversity Skull IDs question set. That's going to be under the question set under the Google Docs, where I always send you to get the animal ID items. So you're filling in something like this. So this is skull number 1, skull number 2, skull number 3. So you're going to do this for 13 different skulls. With regards to the keys, the problem with the keys, and the reason why you have 3 different keys, that is, granted, that is a little bit of a pain, is because not everything is in all of the keys. So most of the animals that we're looking at is look at key B for the answer. It's kind of like having these 3 different keys is sort of like if I'm asking you to do a dichotomous key and I'm trying to figure out, which books or whatever, or which shoes, if you have a key that talks about books, you don't have shoes in it. And if you have a key that talks about shoes, you don't have books in it. And so sadly, the skulls and the keys we have don't match 100%. So key B will get you to most everything except for 9, 12, and 13. For 9, 12, and 13, you can actually use either key A. Key A will tell you, it will only get you to the order. Hang on, I got to click that away. It will only get you to the order, and the key C is actually going to be the one that's going to get you there for some of the others. So you can use this for 9, 12, and 13. Yeah. Okay, so now the thing I wanted to show you, though, is this activity here. When you click under the question set, if you're struggling with this, try this activity. Click on that. And I try to make something to help you a little bit get through these keys. So you click here to unpack all the boxes, and then you have these different skulls. Now, when you go over one of those skulls, what you're going to see is that this it turns into the hand, and when it turns into the hand, you can click on it. And so let's say, for example, we're going to let's click on this one, because for this one we actually have the example. So for this one, you click on it and it brings up a PowerPoint. And on this PowerPoint, when you click on the slide, it brings up the picture, which is the same picture that's in your handout, right? And when you click on that here, it gives you the 2 different choices. So if you're looking at the key, let me go down to the key real quick as we're getting dizzy. So your key B, you see it gives you 2 different choices. 1A is large brain case, rounded muzzle. Oh, you can't see it anymore now because it's too small. Hang on. So, all right. So this gives you 2 choices, right? Large brain case, smooth, or 1B, go to 2. And so basically what this does here, it takes this key and turns it into a slideshow. All right. So is this a large brain case, smooth, rounded muscle given an almost flat face, or is this different from that? So, and you click on the choice, you click on whichever one you think it is. Let's say for kicks, you think it's this one, that it's a large brain case, smooth, rounded muzzle. If you click on it, you get to this, and it shows you the picture that describes that skull. Obviously, the skull looks different from the skull on the first picture, so it says go back to the previous slide, let's look at the skull again and make the other choice. So when you're going to make the other choice, skull is distinctly different from above. Go to 2, click on that. And then when you get to the right one, it says, yes, 1B describes this, and there's your picture again. So then you go to the next question, which is question number 2, because it says here go to 2, but it'll take you to question number 2. Question number 2, incisors absent from the other jaw, upper jaw, or incisors present from the in the upper jaw. So now you're going to look if this sucker has incisors. Now, in terms of the terms that you need to know, you have those. So what are incisors, what are canines, and all of that kind of stuff is listed here in your lab handout. So it describes what a mandible is, what an orbit is, what a rostrum is, where the incisors are. So the incisors are the front teeth, where the canines are, that kind of thing. And then a couple of the other terms, the orbit, the cranium, what a flared and a not flared zygomatic arch look like. And this example here is actually the same example here, but of course Larry used key C. It'll get you to the same place, but it's a different key that uses. Actually, I actually don't think that's key C. I actually think that's key A. But it gets you to the same place. So continuing here, incisors present. So those are incisors are the front teeth. So incisors present. So it's this one, incisors present in the upper jaw. Click on it. And it confirms for you, yes, this is what describes this. Go to the next question. Click on it. Canines present without pronounced diastema between incisors and cheek teeth, or canines absent pronounced diastema between incisors and cheek teeth. So now you need to know what a diastema is, right? And for that, we're going to look back into the into this. So we have incisors, right? We have incisors, but we don't have. Do we have canines on this? So canines would be these teeth, right, that stick out like that. And a diastema is it listed in here? It's listed in the lecture. The diastema is a big gap between the incisors, so you need to watch the lecture first before you do this, so that you have these terms. And I go mostly over terms in the lecture, so look at the lecture. That'll help you with the terms. But in this case here, this gap here is called the diastema. So we have no canines, and we have a pronounced diastema, so we're going to 4. 3B describes this, so go to the next question. 1 pair of incisors per upper jaw, dentition pattern 1-1, go to 6. 1 pair of large and 1 pair of diminutive pec-like incisors. And when you look at this really closely, that's exactly what you see there. You've got 1 pair of large and 1 pair of diminutive. So you're going to go to 5. So this is where those are. This is what this in fact looks like. And it says 4B describes this. You go to the next question, and then you're there. That's where the end of your. So what you've got here is an eastern cottontail rabbit, and that's how you go through every one of those skulls. So you have in your handout, you have. So this would be the same thing with the other skull over here, right? With the other key. Because it goes a little differently, but it goes. All of them go to the rabbit. And then you're going to do this for each of these 5 skulls. 13. You're going to do this for each of these 13 skulls. Some of them are a little longer, some of them are a little shorter. But you basically use the key, 1A, 2B, 3B, whatever, 12A, whatever the case may be. Now, some of the keys, and some people have asked about this already, so I'm going to address it here. Some of the people have noted that some of the questions, when you get to them, it's basically a dead end. So for example, if you see first upper incisor greatly enlarged relative to adjacent incisors at 12A, if you land on it, it doesn't go anywhere. Well, that means you've reached a dead end. So you're not supposed to get there. So if you get there, that's probably not, you've probably taken a wrong turn someplace. and you should go back, and now the place where people often get turned around and make mistakes is counting teeth. So if one of the counting teeth ones gets you, like, 38 or less total teeth, 23B doesn't, it doesn't exist in our skull collection. So 23A is the right answer. If you get to 23, and you have to choose between 23 and 23A and 23B, just pick 23A and go on. Because that's where you're going. I hope this is helpful.